It's still real to me, damn it! A little bit of the bubbly.
So I've been here 8.5 my son. I told you when I first got here, I keep looking each and every day further and further up that ladder, and things getting better and better. For the old nasty dog.
Oh my God!
Aaron Whitlow.
Brandon Spivey.
Go ahead, Brandon.
And we are the Mark Out Movie Podcasters.
Yes. And before we get into today's episode, which is a viewer's choice, I guess something that they asked us to review, which is Mars Attack, we wanted to talk a little bit about Royal Rumble that happened this past Saturday. First, before I kick that off, want to send thoughts and prayers to the family of Lanny Poffo, aka the Genius, Randy Savage's brother, who was in WWE back in the late 80s, early 90s as the Genius. He passed away this past couple of days ago, and just thoughts and prayers for his family. It was really cool just seeing his post on Facebook and stuff, and but Lanny Poffo, Macho Man's brother, the Genius. For those that remember him, I love that. I thought that was a really good gimmick. He came out in a cap and gown. He came out in the cap and gown. He was like, he's a genius. He used to be smarter than everybody else. Huh?
He was Shakespeare.
He was Shakespeare, essentially. And the way, I don't know if he held the mic a certain way. I'm thinking of someone else who was actually really good. Held the mic. I forget who he was. He would hold the mic kind of like holding a glass of wine.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
But no, Genius was a good little gimmick, good character. But yeah, he was, he passed away. Thoughts go to his family, loved ones, friends. Also, thoughts and prayer to Ricky Smiley's family. He lost his son. He's a comedian. He's one of my favorite comedians. He lost his son, so I just want to say thoughts and prayers to his family for their loss as well. But Royal Rumble, Brandon, what were your thoughts on 2023's Royal Rumble?
It's most people I've read that really enjoyed it. For me, that hadn't watched the product since Cody Rhodes got hurt. I just thought it was a mixed bag overall, but I did really enjoy the men's Royal Rumble, although it was predictable. I did enjoy it. I enjoyed the ending of the women's Royal Rumble, although I felt most of that match was kind of boring. But love Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns. Aaron's got me on. Aaron's muted.
Yeah, I'm listening to you. Zanzi came right here.
I loved the ending, the last 15 minutes of it with Sami Zayn, Roman Reigns, Kevin Owens, and the Bloodline. I think I would probably give it like a 3 out of 5 overall, but I did feel it was a mixed bag. The worst thing for me, though, is the Bray Wyatt LA Knight match. I made a comment that I felt Bray Wyatt was kind of boring in the ring, but he has this great character that he kind of gets by with. And someone like angry emoji'd me. I was like, it's just an opinion, dude. But
I've heard somebody else say something similar, by the way. But yeah, I thought the same thing. I thought overall the Royal Rumble was just okay. I was happy for Cody, although honestly, I kind of wished the dude that came in number one, kind of wanted him to win,
Gunther.
honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like that's impressive, man. Like it's rare for somebody to last that long within the Rumble. You know, but then with the women, it did happen. At least it happened for the women. It happened for specifically Rhea Ripley.
Yeah.
But which was cool. I just overall was not really that. And Rumble used to be my favorite of the pay-per-views, actually. But yeah, it's just went downhill, man, for the last couple of ones, I feel.
I did want to ask you though, since I've been a big fan of Sheamus. I don't know if you are or not, but I can look at him now and like I feel like his body is quitting on him, and to a degree, like he's starting to kind of look. I don't want to say old, but just I don't know. Do you think he's gonna retire soon?
I would hope so. Not to be mean, but I'd hope so because sometimes it's time for people to gravitate to a different place within their career, and I hope that for him. I hope he can gravitate to a different place where he's now doing other things. But yeah, I'd hope so. That's what I think about that.
What are you more excited for, Cody and Roman, or whatever they do with Sammy?
Whatever they do with Sammy, that's my drawing point for everything. I want to see Sammy.
I hope they do something special with him.
Yeah, it would be great if Sammy. It'd be great. I don't know. I want Sammy to cash in something or something to take on. There'll be an ultimate ending of the story that he takes down his bully, which is Roman. Which that'd be great. But before we get into our review of Mars Attack, did you watch anything recently?
I've watched a lot, but I'm just going to mention one thing. It's an older movie. Came out in 2004. When it came out, it was considered a ripoff of Fast and Furious. It's called Torque. I don't know if you've seen it or remember it. I thought it was pretty cool back in the day, but rewatching it, it's definitely not a ripoff. It's a parody of Fast and Furious.
He has Derek Luke in it, right?
No, that's Biker Boys.
Oh, does this who's in this one?
Ice Cube's in this one. Martin Henderson. Has a Fast and Furious guy in it. Matt Schultz, who plays Vince. Jamie Presley was in it. Adam Scott plays a crooked FBI agent in it. But yeah, it's definitely a parody of Fast and Furious, and I had a great time watching it. I also watched Biker Boys right after, and I did not have a good time.
But you had a good time with Torque.
Yeah, because it didn't take itself seriously, which is what Biker Boys did. It had no fun, just serious film about bike racing, and that's just not fun.
I would tell you what I watched, and I'm going to get flack because I said I didn't like it, and I stand by it. I watched You People, which is Netflix. It has Eddie Murphy, Jonah Hill, Lauren London, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Nia Long, David Duchovny, amongst many. Rhea Perlman's in it too. Mike Epps is in it.
People.
Yeah, just you have such a good cast of people in this film, and this movie is mediocre at best. It just, I felt like it was. It lacked personality. I thought that it overutilized what's that term where people just or ad-lib improv yeah. like just like whatever they can say, Eddie wasn't bad in it, in the sense of Eddie draws you every time he's on the screen. You want to see Eddie. And I thought the Julia Louis Dreyfus wasn't bad either, and I really loved. But the one I laughed the most with, even cringe laugh, is David Duchovny. Just like the thing that he said was just like it's awkward, but also just like it just makes me like I love David Duchovny. I give that man. He came from such a serious show like X Files, and he was in what's that one with the Zoolander? I think it's in Zoolander.
That's with Ben Stiller and Owen
Yeah.
Wilson.
Yeah, you've never seen that?
I stay away from Ben most of the time. So.
Oh wow. But yeah, he played like not really serious. Like he's able to poke fun at himself.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just all in all, man, I didn't really care for You People. I thought it was just boring, man. Nothing really.
Well, I have a question for you then.
Yeah.
Because knowing that Beverly Hills Cop 4 is coming to Netflix at some point this year, are you worried about it? Considering Eddie's track record recently, I guess. I mean, I think he did a pretty good job with Dynamite.
Yeah. Keep talking.
Everything else, it's kind of not been so well. So I was just wondering about your thoughts when you get back. If you're worried about Beverly Hills Cop 4.
Not really. I think that it's gonna be I don't know, man.
What do you think it's gonna be? Do you think it's gonna be
it
Beverly Hills Cop?
It might not be because I didn't like Coming to America. I thought that was pretty bad. But yeah, I don't know, man. Eddie just needs to let Eddie be Eddie. The last good movie Eddie had was actually the Dolomite is my name. And my name is Dolomite, whatever it is. I thought he was really good in that movie. And I liked him in Tower Heist. Okay. But the last film that he I loved is Life. Life is probably his last film that I really enjoyed, for sure. Completely. Like I still quote it to this day.
That's a classic, in my opinion. I thought him and Martin played so well together. And Martin playing the serious guy was shocking to me because I was expecting when that movie came out, they were both going to be. It was going to be Martin and Eddie, high voltage. But it wasn't. Eddie was Eddie, and Martin was serious. He was the serious guy, and he played it so well. I actually think it's Eddie's best comedy, and I think it's possibly Martin Lawrence's best performance.
I agree. I think it's their best out of both of them. It's both of their best work, honestly. Yeah. It's just one of those films, and then you had Bernie Mac in there, and
supporting cast was
yeah. That was just like everybody in it. Even Anthony Anderson's in that movie as the cook, and just like it's a fun movie. It's a fun movie. It's dealing with like a serious subject and serious situation, but it made you laugh, and I love that. But no, not You People. It did not make me laugh at all.
I think I may watch it tonight because I planned on watching it last night, but didn't get to it.
I'm curious your thoughts, but yeah, we can. So, do you know the name of the guy that asked us to watch this film?
His first name's Nick. I can look him up real quick. Come on. Okay, go to Markout Movie Podcast. Okay, come on.
Well, Nick, that's fine. He might not want to give us his last name.
I don't know. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's Opalweski. Or if I mispronounce that, I apologize, Nick.
Great that Brandon got that name. But anyway, Nick, Nicky O, we thank you for your request. As we tell all other people that watch us, hey man, if you have a request and you want us to watch something, just let us know. You can always reach out to us on YouTube or Facebook or Aaron Knows Movies on Instagram, and he is like Film Guide 1980.
Film Guide, yeah. I got back on there a couple days ago, so
I
think we'll stay on there. But I'm not doing Facebook right now, so until Fridays. for like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
You sent me the link. So
Yeah, so it's his Facebook. Well, I still message you on Facebook. You do Messenger.
I do Messenger. I just don't do the actual app.
Yeah, I feel you. But all right, Mars Attack. This movie came out in 1996. It is me and Brandon. He mentioned this, and it didn't dawn on me. Came out the same year, guys, as Independence Day. Like,
Yeah.
and Independence Day came out like July 3rd, 1996. This movie came out December something of 1996.
Yeah.
Who was talking to who? Who would talk who?
Fox did Independence Day, and Warner Brothers did this. I believe it's Warner Brothers.
Yeah, it's on HBO Max.
I just feel that.
Well, I mean, because Fox is Disney now, so yeah, it's on Max. So yeah,
I kind of feel that Tim Burton was in talks to direct Independence Day, and it fell through. And he's like, "Well, I'll just make fun of science fiction films," and then and that's kind of what he did. And I loved it. At first, the first act, I was kind of because it was too much like Independence Day for me. It was just the whole White House stuff, even the weird family.
If you think about Independence Day, it does kind of have doesn't have the star power that this film has, but
no, there's so many people in this movie.
It does have, but it does have, Bill Pullman.
Yeah.
Obviously Will Smith, Jeff Goldblum. I think is Rip Torn. Like there's so many other people in that film.
Judd Hirsch was in that movie.
What's the guy's name who played Spielberg's grandfather on Fabelmans? He's in because he plays Goldberg.
It's Judd Hirsch.
Judd Hirsch is that his name? Okay. Yeah, so it's like it has a nice little cast. Vivica A. Fox as well. So it has the same elements sort of Mars Attacks, but man, this Mars Attacks has Jack Nicholson, Pierce Brosnan, Sarah Jessica Parker, Annette Bening, Glenn Close, Danny DeVito. You just throw a stick at somebody, you're gonna hit a celebrity in this movie. Martin Short,
Jim Brown.
Jim Brown, Michael J. Fox, Rod Steiger, who we just had last week on In the Heat of the Night. Tom Jones, which is the most acting I've seen Tom do. Yes. I don't know, he might have done more, but I didn't hate Tom Jones in this. I thought he was kind of entertaining, actually. Lucas Haas, who played. Hey, so he's in Babylon. Lucas Haas. I kind of looked at his. I was like, man, he's still acting. He's still getting work. Mm-hmm. But
yes,
Natalie Portman. It's just who else you want to think about? Paul Winfield. Just Pam Grier, Jack Black, Ray J. Christina Applegate, yeah.
Although I didn't know it was her through the whole movie, but she was there, and she's in my favorite scene.
Yeah, it's yeah. We'll talk about that. But there's so many, just like this movie. First of all, it starts with a guy coming down the road, and then there's an Asian guy named Mr. Lee, and then the guy was like, "Hey, is it some type of Asian? Is it the Chinese New Year or something like that? Is it something like that?" And he's like, "No." He's like, "Well, what smell like you barbecuing something? Smells good, you know." He said, "That's not us." And then like they look over the hills, and there's cattle on fire. We start with a herd of cattle running on fire.
Was it cattle or was it horses?
Those were cattle.
I thought they were horses, but
you know what that reminded me of? There was a Martian game like on PS4 maybe, or maybe it's on the Cube, but it was one of those systems, not PS4. It's like PS3, maybe PS2, PS3. Is whatever game system was out during the time of. You remember that? You remember the Hulk with Eric Bana?
Yeah.
Is in that same time frame. There's a Martian game, where you're a Martian and you can like shoot fire and burn cattle and shoot people. It was like a random game, but I don't think it's called Mars Attack, but it's like a Martian attack type of game. And they like had little saucers, and we had it. And that's one thing I remember is like Emmanuel.
Space Invaders.
Space Invaders, mate.
I know they rebooted that. I think that was on Atari originally, and they rebooted it for like PlayStation 2 at one point. I didn't play it, but I know they did reboot that game.
Yeah, but it's what it reminded me of. I'm trying to see if I can look it up. But yeah, it's what it reminded me of. That game. It's not Surviving Mars. But man, it's just
Vilfers chimed in.
I think it's called Mars Panic. I think that's what it is. Mars Panic. What we got?
Vilford.
Bengals game was fixed.
It is what it is.
I wonder if Bilford is a Bengals. He lives in New York, so I'm surprised.
I would think he'd probably be in
Giants or a
Giants or Bills fan living in New York. But I'm a Kentucky and I'm a Bengals fan, so
I have no allegiance, but I'm rooting for the Eagles.
He has no allegiance. He was rooting for those Chiefs. He kept messaging me every single time the Chiefs did something good.
I was just thinking, man,
disrespect is real for
this
guy.
Are they gonna show up and play? What are we doing? Hey, so that one dude messed it up for you, huh? The guy that kind of like pushed the guy in the out of field. You got a penalty there.
Aaron doesn't know football. Yes, he messed it up, but on the same play, the Chiefs were holding and didn't get called. So
okay, that's
why people are saying it's fixed. There's a lot of missed calls, a lot of calls that weren't called. It is what it is.
But anyway, back to this film. So what was your thoughts on the first of all, who in the cast stood out the most to you?
Who stood out in the cast for me?
I was a Giants fan, I guess, until they lit up the Empire State Building green for the Eagles win. Slap in the face. Oh, so you don't like the Birds. The reason why I like the Eagles is because I like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. My allegiance is attached to TV.
Why couldn't you just go Rocky? Why couldn't you just go Rocky? Sunny in Philadelphia. Really?
Yeah, great show. One of my favorite shows. It's still going today. Still going to this day. To this day. It's a great show. But
to your question though about who stood out for me the most, I guess Jack playing two characters, playing a sleazy space invader. I don't know really what it was. Did he own the hotel? But he was also promoting this video game he was going to be selling too. I don't know. Then he's the president. I don't know. It made me miss Jack Nicholson. And he's like 86 years old now, and he hasn't acted since 2010. So watching this made me miss him.
Jack is a great. Oh, you know what? My favorite scene is actually with Jack Nicholson and Rod Steiger. Steiger's together when they're in the the bunker room thing, underground thing. And Steiger's like, we gotta nuke them. We gotta throw everything we have at them. And he's like, and they're like going back and forth, and he's yelling. I was like, man, this is great. It's like two heavyweight actors, man, just like duking it out. Like, but Rod from yesteryear and Nicholson at that point still in his prime. still prime Nicholson. And then you had Danny DeVito that's in there. Danny makes things so effortless. I'm not a huge Martin Short guy.
I hate him. I do.
I tell you, I mean, I'm a Michael J guy. I love Michael J, and when his character dies, it hurts me every time. I'm like,
yeah, I honestly thought their roles should have been switched. Michael should have been what Martin Short was. Martin Short should have been what Michael J. Fox was. I didn't get to see that game. I kind of thought the Giants were going to pull that game out before it started, and I saw the 38-7 score.
Brandon isn't just jumping to. If you are listening, Bill for.
Oh yeah, I forgot to read it. Giants got punked. He don't like. I'm not gonna.
Explicitive.
Explicitive teams.
Oh, so we mentioned that we didn't know that Christina Applegate was in this film, which totally flew under the radar. I didn't even realize it was her. Yeah. I don't think even at the time, back in the day when I watched this film, I knew it was her. And I knew of Christina Applegate because of Married with Children, and I had no idea that was her. Had no idea. It wasn't because I seen her name and I was wondering who is she in this? And I was like, I'm still waiting to see her. And then like I noticed whenever Jack Black is getting on the bus, I was like, is that Christina Applegate? I was like, or is that chick from like Dharma and Greg? Because it kind of looks like her a little bit from the back. But no, it's Christina Applegate. But she was like hidden throughout the movie. You didn't really see her.
She was hitting all right.
No, hitting, not hitting, not hitting. Oh my goodness, Brandon. Speaking of hitting, Jim Brown.
Jim Brown, yeah. I liked him in this, but actually like Pam Grier a little bit more. So if I could change it, I would say Pam Grier actually impressed me the most. I've never seen a lot of her work.
Oh, Pam Grier. Oh, you should do a deep dive into Pam Grier. I've seen
maybe 3 movies of hers.
She's like royalty. She was obviously younger generations would know Jackie Brown. Maybe no Ghost of Mars.
Ghost of Mars.
But I knew her from Blackula, like one of the Blackula films. She's in Palms, which was actually a really good little movie. Where's another movie that I wanted to mention that she's in that I thought that she was really, really good in, and I don't know if she gets thought about it too much. What is it? Oh, it's not really a great movie. It's like a blaxploitation. She did a lot of blaxploitation films. Her and Jim Brown, and a lot of them. But there's a movie with a lot of the old blaxploitation actors in it together. I think it's called Original Gangster, and it's like where they decide to take back the neighborhood. And so they're fighting the current gang. It's a lot of these old blaxploitation stars fighting, like Jim Brown, Richard Roundtree, Pam Grier, I think Mac from Mac the Knife, but not Mac the Knife, but the pimp, the Mac. I mean, I think he might even be in. It's like a lot of blaxploitation actors. In this film, it's really a good little slice of 90s, man. I love it. It's not like an Oscar award-winning movie, but it's fun. But yeah, I recommend you watch it. But I like Pam Grier. I like Pam.
I like Pam Grier.
I like Pam Grier. Pam Grier, man. It's Pam Grier. But her and Jim Brown plays really well with one another in certain things. They kept them apart in this film, which I think is detrimental. Also, why would you still have a tour at the White House when the nation is under attack? There's so many things. Like I love Rod Steiger because he is the one person I love watching his expressions. Like when they say no, maybe they're advanced. They're more advanced than us with technology. Do you think that they're dangerous? And then like Pierce Brosnan is like, I forget to mention him. He's in this. No, I don't think they're dangerous. And Rod Steiger was like, it's just like you idiot. And like he was like pretty much being the voice of us. But
yeah,
man,
yeah. I mean, when they're going to meet him, they're if they come off as very peaceful, and Paul Winfield's he gets chosen to be that guy to meet them, tries to shake their hand, they won't shake the hand, but it seems like it's a peaceful meeting. They're embracing each other. And they say peace, and the bird flies and it gets near the alien or the Martian, and it gets shot down, and a lot of people get shot and killed, including Paul Winfield, which was a sad moment for me because I actually really enjoy Paul
you like
Winfield
Paul?
anytime I get to see him.
I think he was also in Life as well.
Paul Winfield
No,
was?
no, he wasn't. I'm sorry, he wasn't. My bad. I was thinking about the other guy. That's remind me a lot of him. Paul Winfield played Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. in the MLK made for TV movie that came out like a year after Dr. King died. So a year after he died, they made like a made for TV film about Dr. King. I think it's the timeline. Might not have been that. Might have been 10 years, or it's like a short period of time though that they made the film. And I own it because I remember my dad owned it, and I wanted it because I remember watching just the scene of him getting shot on the balcony when I was a kid, and that just kind of blew my mind. But yeah, Paul Renfield, yeah, man, he's like, see, honey, I told you. All you gotta do is just be quiet, don't speak up, and stay in your place, and you'll one day get rewarded.
Yeah, with death from a Martian.
Hey, and then like, what's your girl's name? Natalie Portman. She says, we all want. We
do.
But it's Natalie. But anyway,
No,
it's
I'm
Natalie.
gonna say I don't. Never been much of a fan of hers.
Ah, come on. Every day. Natalie Portman. Anyway,
Never. No. Speak for yourself, Aaron. Every day.
Anyway, Natalie Portman, she said, you think it, she said maybe it was the dove, maybe birds are a sign of like war to them. And then like when they start shooting everybody, the Congress, she said, well, I guess it wasn't the bird.
Yeah.
Or I guess it wasn't the dove. So I think, do you think the Martians was hell bent on conquering anyway? It's not so much.
Yeah.
It was never about peace.
No, never. No, it wasn't about peace at all. Which is kind of the humorous thing because the humans just want peace. No matter what they do, we just want peace. Even at the end of the movie with Jack Nicholson and the president, he's still trying to have peace. So.
Also, I think that it's smart in the sense of that the Martians adapted. So they heard we come in peace. And so they adapted to repeat that we come in peace. So they're like, hey, they just saying what we want to hear so that they can conquer us. Yeah. We come. It's like watching Transform Bumblebee. It's like watching Bumblebee. And the Decepticons is like, yeah, we just want to use your satellites to track these da 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 da. And John Cena is like, they are literally called the Decepticons. We shouldn't trust them. That's like, it's true. It's like, hey, they're like, oh, they're not gonna hurt us. And so that's what they want to do. They kept doing it. They kept utilizing our gullibility to kill us. Whether it's like they didn't shake hands because they didn't know anything about handshaking, so they adapted to shaking hands to kill us. And then they had like a little voice box that says, "Don't run, we want peace," as they're shooting people.
Yeah,
I bet you was cracking up. I bet you was like belly rolling, laughing.
There was quite a few scenes that I had a great time with. I mean, like because I actually looked it up. When you said it was 1996 when it came out, because I thought this was a parody of Independence Day, and I saw what Tim Burton said that it was he wanted to take it. Wow, wow, wow. That'll stop any man in his tracks when he sees that. But anyway, he said he wanted to take all the science fiction bad movies that had really small budgets, but felt like they landed the moon, so to speak. He wanted to kind of poke fun at them. So I was like, oh, okay. And ever since then, I was on board for it. Because at that point, I was still thinking, man, he was trying to rip off Independence Day. But
yeah, this movie doesn't take itself seriously at all. And if you go in not trying to take it seriously, I didn't take it serious. I just felt that it was cheesy in some parts. But it's supposed to be. It's meant to be cheesy. But yeah, like Jim Brown essentially is running around the whole time in a King Tut type of outfit because he works in Vegas.
Yeah.
Oh, they never also explained how he made it from Vegas to DC. Still in his garb. He survived. It's a happy ending. I bet you fans was like, he has to live. Which I'm glad he lived. It's Jim Brown. Because he had sons. One of his sons being Ray J, not AJ, not AJ Styles, Ray J. But yeah, oh man, Jack Black. That man disappeared completely. Where he was like such a. This is in the time when Jack Black was such a. He wasn't really known. He was not big, but I would say. Oh man, I was gonna say. Now Glenn Close is in this. Glenn Close is still upper tier. But I was gonna say he might be the biggest star out of it. Maybe not. I don't know. I still hold. Flag with Michael J. Fox, but but who?
About the time Michael J. Fox got diagnosed.
Yeah, this is his last. I want to say it's his last film. After his diagnosis, like right in the same time, he this is I think this is when he started backing away, and I'm glad that he's came back in some sense. He's at a semi-retirement and working some things, some shows, some stuff popping up. He was in a season of Curb Your Enthusiasm, where Larry David was convinced he's faking Parkinson's for sympathy, and he's playing. He went along with it, man, and he had a good time with playing off of Larry David, and just like it's. I just it's gonna be a sad day, man, when he succumbs, man, to this awful disease, But yeah, no, Michael J. I would say, but honestly, out of everyone I'm seeing on the cast, I say the biggest name now is probably Jack Black. I gotta say, Jack Black is still out of everyone. He's still a draw. Now, if Jack Nicholson comes back and says, "I want to do something," then Jack will draw money. Maybe I would think so.
I don't think he can do it anymore. I think his memory's too bad. But yeah, if he were to come back, I think it would draw money because we hadn't seen him in over 13 years. So,
and Pierce Brosnan at this time, this is like 96, so he's still Bond at that time.
He just started Bond in 95, so yeah, he was just fresh off GoldenEye. So this is at the height of his career, really. I mean, I was surprised he did this. I told you last night I was surprised that Tim Burton got all these actors in this one movie.
Yeah, Tim. At that point, Tim was the draw. At that point, Tim had enough power. I guess his name had such presence that he could get all these actors to be in this film. This was what you call an ensemble cast.
Yeah,
But and it's just so random people like. But it's like, do you think of like this had jokes that does not fly today? There's no way you could do the where the press person stood up that you don't know their sexuality, you don't know their gender. And he stood up and said, and with a kind of deep voice, but kind of deepish, girlish voice, but so you don't know.
yeah.
Do you know if they're gonna will the aliens be male or female? And the way he kind of looked like, oh, like it's like I said, oh, I said so we doing trans jokes. You can't do that these days.
Nah,
That don't fly these days.
you get canceled today if you do any joke like that. It's just, yeah. But how did you feel when Michael J. Fox bit it?
When Michael J. died in this film, I felt back when I first saw the film, I felt devastated then, and that same feeling applies to now. I felt devastated because I like Michael J. Fox, man. I always want more Michael J. Fox than less Michael J. and stuff. When I see him, I want him because I have such a place for him. It started with was it Growing Pains or is it
Family Ties?
Family Ties? Yeah, I forget which one is which, but they kind of came out around the same time. But Family Ties, it started with that, and then like I seen him in Teen Wolf and Back to the Future and stuff like that, and it just I became a Michael J. fan, and so. And then, like, I do remember seeing him in, I think called Casualty of War.
Yeah.
And he played like a very, very, it's like I used to see him being comedic. And so he was being very serious in that movie. And as a kid, I didn't know how to process stuff like that. Honestly, whenever I see people that is usually funny in movies where they're being serious, like Ted Danson and Leslie Nielsen in Creepshow, I didn't know how to process these guys that I know from funny things being pretty serious,
Yeah.
At the time. But yeah, man, seeing Michael J, man, when he died, every time I'm like, oh man, I just waste. I agree. I wish it was Marty Shore instead, honestly. And I hate to say that because I know that there's some people that probably have an infatuation with Martin Short. Not Martin. Yeah, Martin Short.
Yeah.
I just never had that.
I never did it.
In what's that movie? Three Amigos. I was there for Steve Martin, and then Chevy.
Yeah, I've never seen that.
I mean, it's pretty good, but I'm there for Steve. I'm a Steve Martin person. I love Steve to this day.
I think the very first thing I ever saw Martin Short in was Father of the Bride. I think it was Father of the Bride.
What's a plethora? Plethora? Like plethora? You mean plethora? I don't know. Well, I don't know what you're talking about. Is that something? Did I miss something? Is that part of your body? A plethora? Clean the plethora.
Oh boy.
Well, anyway, we don't want to get no one's plethora in a bunch. So what were you saying, Brandon? Your plethora is showing.
He's quoting Three Amigos, so he's definitely talking to you. And I'm like,
okay. Oh, yeah. I hadn't seen that movie so long. I remember the Singing Bush. I remember the Singing Bush. I remember. I guess it'd be a movie we have to review sometime. Three Amigos. Sometimes in the future. But anyway, What were your thoughts on this person, Brando?
This person. Oh boy. When you said Christina Applegate was in the movie, I was like, was it this alien? That's what I was. That was just a weird scene.
No, that's Christina.
Yes,
There.
that's Christina. My favorite scene in the movie, and we'll get there, but it's not because of that, but it's because of the song that was used. It's because of what the Martians were doing. The only thing was missing was John Travolta.
He sent me a video of him just cackling at the scene, and I'm like, "What in the world?" But hey, he's having fun, man. He's having fun. He's having a good time, and I'm happy for it. I'm happy to hear anybody have a good time with film. But yeah, that lady, the Martian girl, like the way she walked, I give that to Tim Burton, like the way that he kind of designed the walk of hers, the way she kind of flew, the flowing type, and then she's chewing the gum, but the hair, everything about her says I am an alien or a ghost. I don't see why Martin Short would say, "Hey, let me try to bang this." So, but he did.
Obviously, no one's approaching him, so he's taking what's available.
Oh, she's a regular. She's definitely a regular with Tim Burton. Man, she was in Ed Wood. She played Vampira, Mars Attack, Sleepy Hollow, Lady Crane. In there, man, and then she with Rob Zombie now because she's in Lords of Salem. Just stay away from these guys. They're terrible. I'm sorry, Tim Burton. He was good then. Now I think Tim Burton is pretty terrible. Pretty terrible. Although I did like Wednesday.
What's a what?
I did like Wednesday.
Oh, Wednesday. Okay.
Yeah, the show. I did like that, but I don't know how much he directed or he just produced it. But
I haven't seen it, but I heard good things. I heard it was really good. But
yeah.
What did you think of that scene, though? Since you brought it up.
I thought for one, you're an idiot. Not you, but Martin Short.
I'm not sleeping with an alien, so
yeah. But also, I thought that the way that her design, the way she looked, was really great. And then like the reveal that it's the alien up under the mask. And she's chewing the gum, and it's the way they breathe. I forgot that there was I forgot. It's funny. I forgot how to kill them. I always thought that they just like broke their helmets and then they couldn't breathe and then they died. I thought that's but no, it's the song. They yodeled them to death. But yeah, I don't know. They were all right. This lady. That lady that plays the grandmother.
Yeah.
She's in Beetlejuice, which is Tim Burton's as well. She's like Juno. She's the old lady with the throat cut. And the smoke comes out of her throat.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That's her. I had no idea. I just realized that just looking on IMDb that's who that lady is. She's clearly dead now because, that was 100 years ago. That movie came out. She died in 99. So
30 years later. What did you think of the grandmother?
I thought she was cute. The way that she always says she's looking for Thomas.
Yeah.
She calls him Thomas, but she seems like the only person in that family that truly loves the boy. Richie, I forget his name. Not the kid from E.T., but he's another little 80s child actor, Lucas Haas. He's in Inception as well. He's in The Witness. That's where I knew him from. But yeah, his name was Richie. You guys right, Richie. She, I thought she was really good. I thought that she obviously suffering from some type of dementia, or something like that.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I thought that she was good. Your thoughts on Tom Jones? Let's get on to Tommy. Did you feel like? I feel like Tom Jones. If it wasn't for Elvis's death, I don't think Tom Jones, because they met each other. There's like footage of them with one another, and I thought he talked about how like him and Elvis kind of talking to one another at one point in life. But I think that his residency in Vegas, like everybody that has residency in Vegas owes Elvis. Elvis was the first big act to say, "Let me do this in Vegas." He kind of made Vegas what it was. But Tom Jones, God bless him, he's still going. He's still living, bro.
Yeah, I've never been a big fan of Tom Jones. For me, it's the dance with Carlton, and he's singing Tom Jones' music, and he's that's really how I know Tom Jones is from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. So I've never been a big fan. I've never really listened to much of his songs except for the most popular ones that's been in movies or TV shows. But
I don't even know this song. What other song he got? I know he got other songs, but I just know this song.
Yeah, that's the only one that I really truly know. But
I can't name another Tom Jones song. I cannot.
But I
you
thought,
put a gun to my head, bro, I will die because I just can't name one.
But I thought in this movie he was having a ball. He came off so lovable in this movie, and just a guy that knew how to have a good time. So I suspect he had a great time shooting this in the limited role he had. But I loved him in it personally. He cracked me up, so I had a good time with it.
Let's see some of the Tom Jones songs real quick. Obviously, there's a song called Thunderball. Mm-hmm. She's a lady. Oh, he sings that. She's a lady. Whoa, whoa, whoa. She's a lady. Okay. I Never Fall in Love Again. I don't know. Sex Bomb. It's Not Unusual, of course. Green, Green Grass of Home. Delilah. Yeah, I don't know. What's New Pussycat? I've heard that song. That's him. I know that one. So I do know. I just couldn't name it off the top of my head. I needed some help. If I Only Knew. I don't know. Burning Down the House. I don't know that one. I don't know. I'm gonna stop looking at both Tommy Jones. But like no, I love Tom Jones in this. Actually, he was one of my favorite characters, and I was hoping nothing ever happened to him. Tom. I love that group. I actually want to be honest. I want to stick with that group with Jim Brown, Tom Jones, Annette Bening, even Danny DeVito is in that mix, and the other lady. I wanted to kind of stick with that group. I had fun with that group. I wanted to follow them on their venture.
Yeah.
Man. I wonder why they cast Jack Nicholson twice, and not like I feel like it could have been Billy Bob Thornton playing that role.
Yeah, I could see Billy Bob. I don't know. I mean, maybe that was part of the pitch. You get to play two people. I don't know. I really don't. I enjoyed Jack playing both roles.
He played them totally different. He played two totally different characters, which was really great, though.
Yeah, he was great in it, I thought. I can't think of one bad performance from Jack Nicholson, though. It's like he's gonna give you everything he's got. So, but
you know what I just realized?
What's that?
This is almost like a reunion between Jack Nicholson and Danny DeVito because they were both in One Flies Over the Cuckoo's Nest together. They were in that movie. That's like Danny DeVito's start. That's his first film role. He was playing like a guy that's in the mental institution, and Jack Nicholson comes in. So, okay. But yeah, we can go ahead and. Are you ready? Anything you want to mention before we go and give our marks? We're almost at an hour.
No, go ahead and give remarks.
I'll let you go first.
Mine is gonna be kind of up there. I'm gonna give it 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5. All right, I give it 3 and a 3 markouts out of 5. I had fun with the cast. The cast, you know, and comparing this to you people who both had big casts. I felt like this film they had more fun with it. I felt like it was more entertaining. It just it's silly, but once you talked to me about it, I was like, okay, it's a good silly. It's supposed to be silly. You shouldn't take nothing serious in this movie. Like the moment that Tom Jones is singing and the lights go off and the lights come back on and there's 3 aliens dancing as his background singers, you know that it's a silly. It's just silly. But Tom Jones did try to save the girl. She's like, "Hey, run, save, run!" You know, I loved it. Didn't love it, but I loved it. I had a good time. R.I.P. Michael J's character in this movie. Yeah, I really hated that. But yeah, I liked it though. All right. So next week, Brandon,
It's a
we're gonna
scream.
start. It's a Scream, baby. We're gonna start our dive into Scream, getting ready for Scream 6.
Yeah, it's crazy to think this is the 6th installment though. Also started in 1996. So
Wow. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a fun journey going back through these. And then after that, we will pick back up with other stuff.
yeah.
Go for saying something. Well, I guess some people just don't listen. I specifically warned you not to waste your time with you people, Eddie Murphy, but it looks like you didn't take my advice. Good whip there, Bill. Let me tell you. So I decided to watch it because I was like, let me go ahead. And if anything else, I was thinking I get something to put on my worst movie of the year list. So I got to fill that list too. But I went in thinking, okay, let me at least try it. And I put on Facebook, I said, hey, I didn't like that movie. And
You got backlash.
I got so much backlash. People was like, what do you mean you don't like that movie? I'm like, I don't like the movie, man. I didn't think it's funny. Brandon will watch it. He'll probably love it. It's just the way it goes.
I don't know. I mean, I'm just watching for Eddie and Jonah when I do watch it. I just, the trailers don't look great, though. I mean, I don't know. Is it trying to be like Guess Who? That movie?
I feel like it's trying to be an updated version of that, almost.
Okay.
But
it's kind of what it looked like it was trying to be, but Jonah Hill looks like he's trying to be black, so I didn't know.
There's the thing.
That's just what it looks like. I haven't seen it, so I don't have any clue. But yeah.
Oh. All right, so I'm trying to see. All right, so next week we're gonna be starting with Scream 1, and we go from there. Scream 2, Scream 3, all the way up to
6.
Scream
Takes Manhattan.
takes New York. Yeah, I can't wait. I haven't watched any of the trailers because I was like, I don't want spoilers. I hate trailers now. I'm not good with trailers. I just hate trailers.
I think you like Scream's trailers if you pick up on some of the things it's not really teasing, but he's a fan. This Ghostface is a fan. I will say that.
All right. Well, that's all we need to say because Brandon spoils things. All right.
What did I spoil? I said he's a fan.
You didn't spoil, but Brandon spoils things. I love you, Brandon, but we know this. Come on. I know you. I'm going to get you a shirt that says Mark Out Movie Podcast. Brandon spoils things. You can have your face on there like.
I tell you.
Well, all right, Brandon, what we want them to do?
Spoiled, okay.
Oh, so they're all on Paramount Plus, so that's what's up.
Yep, and they're all on Blu-ray right over here.
I have them all on Blu-ray as well, except for 5. I own it digitally, but
Mm,
I will get it on Blu-ray because I got a collection going down. But yeah, what we want people to do, Brandon?
Did you just call me Brandy?
Brandon? I said Brandon.
Well, if you like this episode and you want to see more episodes, click that subscribe button, click like, and click share to get more people, to see us. If you didn't like it, don't subscribe.
Don't share if you didn't like us. But don't unsubscribe. If you subscribe, stay with us. We don't want you disappearing on us. We're like your safety blanket. Bilford, thank you as always for tuning in. If there's nobody else, Bilford, we count on you. And Nick, thank you for your suggestion for Mars Attacks.
Yes, I
Anybody else
loved it.
has any suggestions? Please let us know. Bilford, we know that you will always have suggestions. And you make some good suggestions. And in the meantime and in between time, Aaron Whitlow,
Brandon Spivey.
thank you for marking out with us here on the Mark Out Movie Podcast.